Having taken a couple of weeks to get used to living on the boat, I started heading west, sailing first to Southampton to visit some friends, and to overcome my reluctance to come alongside berths single-handed. Bye-bye. Set channel, home for the last few weeks. How annoying. The winds were light easterlies and the weather fair. Later the wind died, and I was forced to motor once I was past the handle to avoid arriving after dark. I spent 2 nights in Southampton before heading towards the Isle of Wight. Once again the weather failed me, and I was forced to motor the entire way to the River Medina. I anchored just south of the Folly Inn and settled in for the night. But when I awoke the following day, the conditions had changed considerably, and it had come on to blow quite strongly from the east. I was working from the boat, but other than that there wasn't very much to do apart from watch the wildlife get buffeted around by the wind as well. All of this wind made me worry for my anchor's holding, so I decided to check with the rest of the crew. They seemed unconcerned, however, so on the second day after work I decided to sail into Newport. This gave me a chance to try out my new tender and its sailing rig, which was rather fun even in these blowy conditions. When I got back, I watched the birds go by and then settled in for another blowy night. But when I woke up the following morning, the wind had died right down and everything was very still. That evening I got the water taxi into Cowes and explored the town a little bit. Unfortunately, later on that week, when I was tying my tender up alongside the Folly pontoon, fate ordained that I should take up magnet fishing as a new hobby. But now the wind had died right down, there was lots more opportunity to do those odd jobs on the boat that needed doing. I'm going to try and make a sail cover for the mizzen, because at the moment it's completely naked and being no doubt absolutely rinsed by the sun. So I've got this old tarp here which I'm going to cut up, and then I'm going to use some cloth tape to reinforce the edges, and then put some grommets on there so I can sort of lace it on. I'm kind of going to, I think I know what shape it needs to be. I'm essentially going to measure the boom and then measure the height of the bit of the sail that's going to be poking out the top. With the weekend coming, and there with it the opportunity to move on to the next place, I decided to finally explore the wrecks that had been my neighbours for the last few days. The River Medina is an alright place to stop for a few days of work, but I was very excited for my next destination on my way west, which would be Newton Creek. There's a lot more wildlife at Newton Creek, seals, and it was even a place where they reintroduced sea eagles, so hopefully I'll see some of those, with no disrespect intended to the oyster catchers on the River Medina.